Welcome to Maths with EJD. Still talking about coordinate geometry and conic sections. We will be looking at ellipse. So talking about conic sections, we can see circles as a kind of conic section. And then we looked at parabola already. Now it's time for ellipse. And in the next one, we're looking at hyperbola. And conic sections are basically shapes that are formed when a cone intersects a plane, basically. So it depends on the angle of intersection, for instance. And then if you want to talk about the graduation, start from, when you cut a plane uh, uh, horizontally, you get a circle. And then when you tilt that a bit, you have like a kind of distorted circle and you have ellipse. And then when you continue further, you get a parabola. And when you make the angle, when you keep tilting the angle, you get hyperbola. All right. So an ellipse is a set of all points in a plane such that the sum of their distances from two fixed points called foci. So we have two fixed points now. So you remember that for circle, you have a single point. Okay. So for ellipse now, you have two fixed points. So an ellipse is a set of all points in a plane such that the sum of their distances, the sum of the distance of these points from two fixed points called foci is constant. It is one of the fundamental conic sections formed when a plane cuts a cone at an angle smaller than that of its side, right? So the standard equation is this. If the center of the ellipse is at the origin and the major axis lies along the x-axis, then the equation of the ellipse will be x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1, where a is greater than b. So a has got to be greater than b, and b is greater than 0, basically. That means 0 is less than b, less than a. So in this case now, we call a the semi-major axis, b is the semi-minor axis, and c is the distance from center to each focus. So C, we don't have C. Oh yeah, C is the center from each focus, and that is actually the relationship between them is then that C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. That's the distance from each center to each focus. So C squared equals A squared minus B squared, and then it has the following properties. It has the center. If you assume that the center is at the origin, it may not be at the origin, by the way, but let's assume it's at the origin. Then we have vertices plus or minus a comma 0, and then we have co-vertices 0 comma b plus or minus b. Then foci is plus c plus or minus c comma 0, where c is the square root of a squared minus b squared. So once you know a and b, almost every other thing can be sorted. Then the major axis length is 2a, the minor axis length is 2b. The eccentricity, there's something called the eccentricity. It is the ratio of C to A, where E lies between 0 and 1. And then the latus rectum, so the eccentricity is greater than 0 but less than 1. Then the latus rectum, that's the length of chord through a focus perpendicular to the major axis. So that is the length of latus rectum, which is 2b squared over A. Now we can visualize all this using this code, and we can look at this code better later. Um, I don't want to dwell on it too much. So of course here, let's assume A is 5, that's the semi-major axis, B is 4, the semi-minor axis, and then you have theta, which you divide from 0 to 2 pi, 400 divisions. Then the parametric equations, you have X is A cos theta, Y is B sine theta. Then the foci, you have C is NP, that's square root of A squared minus B squared, and then the foci is C comma minus C, and the foci Y, you have 0, 0, and then you can plot all of that. You're basically plotting Y against X. So I'll just go for that, and then you see what it looks like. So to show us some of the things we've been talking about so far. Yeah, so this is it now. So you see the ellipse is the blue line, and then you have the foci. The foci are at this point. It's like here, it's like -3 and 3. That's the foci. And the center is at the origin 0, basically. So we have that. So let's take an example. So example 1, find the equation of an ellipse centered at the origin with major axis length 10 and minor axis length 8, right? So if the major axis length is 10, that means that 2a is equal to 10. So because major axis length is double of a, and minor axis length is double of b, so 2a equals 10. So a is 5, and 2b equals 8, b is 4. So it means that the equation of the ellipse is x squared over 5 squared, that's a squared, plus y squared over b squared, that's y squared over 4 squared, and that's equal to 1. That is, you have x squared over 25 plus y squared over 16. We can easily visualize that. So you have x squared over 25, okay, plus y squared over 16, and that is equal to 1. So that's the ellipse right there. So you can see the center is here, okay, and then we have the foci, right? So what's that now? So we have, let's look at these things again. Come in here. So you have foci plus or minus c comma 0, yeah, and c is square root of 25 square root of b squared minus a squared, I believe. A squared minus b squared, yes. That's 25 minus 16. That's simply 3. So we have, okay, we have 3, comma 0. You see this? And then you also have minus 3, comma 0. These are the foci, okay? Of course, you already know the center is at the origin. So the center doesn't have to be at the origin, by the way. So that's the center of the origin right there, okay? So with that in place now, so we're taking care of example 1. For example 2, you want to find the foci and the eccentricity of the ellipse. So you have x squared over 16 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. So automatically a squared is 16. That means a is 4. And b squared is 9. That means b is 3. So c squared is a squared minus b squared. That's 16 minus 9 equals 7. So c is root 7. So in this case, we know that the foci is plus or minus square root of 7, comma 0. The eccentricity, of course, will be that will be either c over a, that's root 7 over 4. That is the eccentricity, which lies between 0 and 1. So to represent this now, we have, okay, maybe I should just do it on top of this. So 16, 9, right? So let me just copy this. Okay. And this is 16, and then down here we have 9. So that's that ellipse, okay? And then we know that the foci is plus or minus root 7, comma 0. So we have square root of root 7, comma 0. So we have, that's that point right there. And then we also have this now, minus root 7, comma 0. Okay, to really see that, we can delete all this. So we have this other ellipse, okay? Then example 3, you have x squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. We saw that before. So a squared is 25, b squared is 9. The latus rectum is simply 2b squared divided by a. So 2b squared, that's 2 times 9 divided by a square root of 25, that's 5. And the latus rectum is simply 3.6. That's the length of the latus rectum from the ellipse. Okay, so equation of an ellipse centered at h, comma k. So what we have considered so far is the possibility of the ellipse having a center at 0. What if the center is not at 0? It is at h, comma k, like we had for a circle. So it's simple. Instead of just having x squared over a squared, you now have x minus h squared all over a squared plus y minus k squared all over b squared equals 1. A major axis along y-axis. So you can also have x minus h squared over b squared plus y minus k squared over a squared equals 1. So we can take an example like that. Let me work with what we currently have there. So instead of this now, of course, this will not hold anymore. So instead of just having x squared now, we can just have, let's say we have, okay, yeah, that works. let's say we now have x minus, maybe the center is 3, 4. So we have x minus 3 squared. Then again, y minus 4 all squared. So you can see it has shifted now. So if you zoom in on this, so the center is at 3, 4 right here. So if you look at 3, 4, 3, 4, so you see that's the center, and then we can figure out the latus rectum and things like that. Okay. So let's look at some real-world applications of ellipses. Ellipses. So we have planetary orbits. According to Kepler's first law, planets move in elliptical orbit around the sun, which is at one focus. Okay. Then we also have optics and acoustics. Elliptical mirrors focus light or sound from one focus to the other, used in whispering galleries and telescopes. Then we have application of ellipses in engineering and architecture. Elliptical arches, yeah, I think that's what we can call that. And domes distribute weight efficiently in buildings and ceilings. So if you see some architectural masterpiece, you can see ellipse at work there. Then in astronomy, you have satellites and cometary orbits, often taking elliptical paths. Then in medical imaging, you have elliptical lenses and mirrors used in optical and MRI systems. So in summary, you see that when you talk about the standard equation for the horizontal axis, for the x-axis, you have x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. Then standard equation for vertical axis, you have x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared. I mean, let's demonstrate this like what we had before. Let me just take it back to what it was before. Okay. Yeah, this one. So that is at the x-axis. If you want to take it to the y-axis now, you have x squared now over the bigger number, I think, 9. Then this one will now be 16. So you can see there's a switch over. Wow. So you can see geometry, we can do beautiful things out of ellipses like this. So this, we can do a logo around this kind of thing, around these ellipses. So if you, by playing around with this, you can be able to find out something that is really interesting. So by switching the axis, you can see what this looks like now. So let me do a few more experimentation. This is me just uh, having fun with this. So let's say this is 25 and this is 16. So we have that. And then I take it over and then the same thing. And I now, switch the axis. This is now 16 and this is 25. 25. So, you can actually get to form a pattern that's really beautiful. So, so some artwork can come out of that. So you may want to do mathematical art. That's a field to explore. So then the foci, of course, will be plus or minus c, 0, or 0, plus or minus c. Of course, plus or minus c, 0 is for the horizontal, while 0, plus or minus c is for the vertical. And the relation is c squared equals a squared minus b squared. Eccentricity is c over a. The lattice rectum is 2b squared over a. Major axis is 2a. Minor axis is 2b. That's the summary like we've learned so far. So you can try your hands on the following questions. So you want to find the equation of an ellipse whose major and minor axes are 14 and 10. Of course, that simply means that 2a is 14 and 2b is 10. So that means 2a, that means a is 7 and b is 5. Okay? So in that case, it's basically what you have next. So that's x squared over 49 plus y squared over 25. Okay, let me just add that. X squared over 49, then y squared over 25. So that's that. So what if I turn over the axis, which is possible, right? So this 25 comes here, and then we have 49 here. So you can get something beautiful like this. It's looking like artwork, right? So you want to find the eccentricity of this. Of course, the eccentricity of this, you need to find C, and then you put that over A. Yeah, like we saw, eccentricity is C over A, like that. You want to find the coordinates of the foci. for this one, you know, so you need to find C for sure. So you can try your hands on the rest and then enjoy working with ellipses. With this, I come to the end of this video. Let me know how helpful this is for you. All right. If you want me to try something, let me know. For sure, I might be able to do that. If you have subscribed already, I thank you very much. If you have not subscribed, of course, you don't want to keep missing out on this channel. So go ahead and subscribe right away. Okay. And hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. You can then take it a step further by becoming a member of the channel by clicking on join, and that gives you some 3 levels of membership, and then and with some special privileges like that. Ultimately, don't forget to comment, like, and share so that more people can have access to the great content I have going on. Until I come your way again, keep doing maths right. Bye.